When we think of successful business today, who do you think of? Do you think of McDonald's, Walmart, or maybe even the Apple company? But what makes these companies so successful and us look up to them in those ways? Is it because McDonald's can sell a good cheeseburger? Or is it because Walmart can value items at the lowest prices we can find? Or maybe because Apple sold the first smartphone, so we look at them as the household name for all smartphones. And as we'd like to think of it for these reasons, it actually stems down to a much more in-depth reason in how they run their organization and business. And out of these three companies, the one that I wanted to take a deeper look at was Apple. Ever since Apple's come up with the first iPhone, I've been infatuated with how creative and inventive they've been able to be with their industry. And so once we got this assignment, I knew this was my chance to take a deeper look and get to see how this business functioned and this organization worked as a whole. And after reading the article that I found on them, I was able to find that they have one of the most worker-friendly environments, culture, communication ways of any that I've ever read about or worked for personally. And here's just some tips that they use and things that they do to make it such a great communicative company. What they have first is a clearly defined structure. So say if you're a manager, you know who your subordinates are as well as your superiors and your role and what they need to do. So that way it allows the company to work better as a whole. Next is they have clearly defined goals. So you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing every day and how you're helping that company. You also know how your goals relate to others who work with you and how you can both work towards the main vision of the company together. Next is they allow junior designers, or say anyone at the bottom of their company, to have a direct line of communication to the high-up superiors or even CEOs, such as Steve Jobs when he worked there. And this really allows the company to be as creative as they are, because you can get people at the bottom who come up with ideas that people never would have thought of, say, in the design room. It's not one person sitting in a room coming up with all these great ideas each year for the new phones and all their other tablets. So this really allows them to be as creative as they are and keep pushing out the new merchandise that they can every year. Next is that they have direct rewards for all of their employees. And so what this means is that it allows superiors and subordinates to have that one-on-one communication with each other and develop a relationship and get to do their jobs better together. And I think actually in the article I read that Steve Jobs actually each year would poll and take his 100 best employees and to give them kind of like a convention type getaway vacation weekend where he helped better themselves as employees as well as managers. And so next I actually found that Apple had 6 successful communication steps that they focused their company on, how they were able to be so great at communication and be so efficient. And the first one they have is that they make the vision of their company more than just a document on the wall. So they don't want you to come in and just see this piece of paper hanging up that says, hey, this is what we're doing and what we're working for. They like to tell each person personally what they're supposed to do, how they're supposed to do it, and how it relates to helping each and every one reach that vision and that accomplishment and goal of the company. Next is that they like to meet often. And I think it said that Steve Jobs would have meetings with his managers at least 2 or 3 times a week, which is a lot in any business or company. But meeting often allows everyone to be on the same page and stay up to date with, say, new changes or anything else that they need to talk about. And that allows everyone to communicate more ideas, get more things flowing, and it essentially takes out the risk of more mistakes in a business. And next is to plan a positive delivery when you're talking to anyone. And so the one thing that said outside, this is even outside of the business, that Steve Jobs, when he would come out to do a release for, say, a new phone or a new tablet or a laptop, he would be so excited and tell you, and you could see it in his face and his expressions and how he portrayed the item to people at the release date, how happy he was to do it. And so if you can come in and do that and portray that to your employees at a business, they're going to be much more able to come in with a happy attitude or better outlook at, say, doing the work you're asking for, the tasks that you need done. The next one is to have a great way to have two-way communication between your superiors and subordinates. Like I said before, how the junior designers could talk and get their ideas up to the top of the line. That creates a great relationship and a great flow, and it actually can create better inventiveness for your company. It allows people to get their ideas up to the top of the line, and it allows people to just like their job more because once they're heard and they can feel more empowered. And next it says it doesn't hurt to over-communicate. And what this really means is that you can never discuss things too much between people at a business. You can never tell someone to do something too many times. It is always better to be reminded too many times than not enough, because you'd hate to say mess something up and forget to do something for your company and then put you behind just that much further. And the sixth and last successful communication tip they have is to know your audience and how they listen. And this is very, very important, because if you know how your audience listens and how to portray things that they understand, you'll be able to, first of all, be much more efficient into getting done whatever you're asking them to do. Also, you'll be able to get them to be happier with what you're telling them. If it's a change of policy, say, you'll be able to tell this in a way that won't disappoint them and make them distraught. You can break it to them easy and really get the help out of them that you need. And so all these are very important and really opened my eyes to how Apple thrives, not only as being able to sell great products, but also as a business as a whole. In reading all of these tips, it really allowed me to connect what we've learned so far in class to the exact same things that they are doing in their business. First of all, by giving their workers such a free reign and happy place to work at, it allows the people to feel empowered. If I come up with a great idea and I'm able to give that up to someone in the higher realms to help them use that, say, to the next iPhone or next iPad, that just makes me feel that much greater about myself and feel so much more empowered in my position. And that really actually is a big important factor in anyone's job and happiness in a job. And next, I really related how Apple's organization is related to the human resources organizational environment. By that, the employees are able to self-manage themselves. They're a major part in all decision making by saying those lower people at the bottom of the totem pole are able to present their ideas to people at the top. And also it allows for open communication all throughout the company. Everyone can be heard. Last but not least, I was able to connect the Apple company, probably most importantly, to the continuous learning environment. And I think this is probably one of the biggest goals by Apple, because they're always each year trying to better what they did the last, or better sales, better their profits, better their products for us, the people, the consumers. And each year, what is Apple trying to do with their products? They're trying to come up with new ideas. How can we make it better? What needs improved? And so by allowing their company to be so free-flowing and open to, say, someone who's been there a year rather than someone who's been there 10 years, they're setting themselves up to be more creative, more inventive, more profitable even. And so all of these reasons, I think, is why Apple not only today is one of the biggest retailers in our country, but will also continue to be one for who knows how long. Thank you.